I'm not going to explain these columns, the content of it. You should be familiar with it, where it comes from.
Yeah.
Why it is required. I just want to say something about repairs, maintenance, repair, and replace. You'll see under repair, I don't really have anything there. Why
correct.
Why is that?
I don't know, question.
Because when do you repair something? You repair something when it breaks.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
if you maintain something properly,
It shouldn't break too often, hey?
it shouldn't break too often, exactly. So maintain everything properly, and you won't need to plan for repairs in here, because that, when it happens, it happens.
Yes.
You know, you can maintain it, but you know, something happens and something just gives up the ghost, and then you have to repair it.
Yes.
Let me throw spanner in the works here, under repairs. Here in the Durban area, and that we have an experience very, very serious concrete spalling on many of the buildings. Many buildings that we're dealing with, even buildings that supposedly are 5 to 10 years old. We're starting to get spalling come through due to mainly poor workmanship at the base start of it, where plaster is too thin, and rebars come to the surface, and we're getting these spalling and then cracking in the structure, and those then have to become a repair. And strangely enough, we with an older building, most of the work you got to do is structural repairing work on it.
Okay.
On a newer building too, I'm having to deal with one of these bigger, huge complexes in the Umhlanga Rocks area, which is only 17 years old. But the amount of spalling and cracking of plaster, cracking in the structure is taking up 80% of the actual work, which is all repair work.
I understand that. So you will then plan for those repairs.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So you will then put in those dates here. So when you look at these capital items here, you know, these things are relatively standard, and you will find it in all your schemes, but you will find maybe there's something that won't apply to you. Then you can just delete it. Or you've got something that's not in here and you have to add it. So
Add a line. Okay.
yeah. So how do you do that? Let me show you. What do you have that should be added?
What about retaining walls? Those awful
Retaining walls, okay, yes. So for example, that is then
Walls,
an item that you will put, walls, but that is your perimeter walls. The way to do that is simple. I like to keep a clear line between the sections. To add it here, I need to just insert a row below. Then I would highlight the whole row and say copy.
Gotcha.
The next row and just say paste. Say yes. And then of course you just edit that.
Yes.
7 and change this to retaining walls.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because now all your formulas have copied down
Yeah.
as well.
Yes, that is the reason why, because there are formulas in these rows. So by copying it, you copy everything over, and all you need then to do is to
Let's change the
change this and say, yes, the condition is where when the next thing you will look at is what is the expected life. Depends what material it is, but it could, let's make that 10 years. And and say to replace that, if it has to be replaced in its entirety, that is going to be, say, 350,000 rand. Just for argument's sake. Okay. Then you need to decide, okay, when is the next maintenance due? If we need maintenance, that say 2020, let's make that 2025, enter, etc.
10 years,
Replace. Very seldom that you would need to replace all the walls, but
part thereof.
Usually you do part thereof, as and when it becomes necessary. But then you would say, okay, when we need to replace it, might become necessary in 10 years' time.
Yes.
And you put in there 2025, we're going
75.
to maintain it, so we make that 2035.
Correct.
35.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see the finish there? Yeah.
Yes. So that is what you do for all your items. Go through them.
Mhm.
Get a good estimate of the lifespan.
Yeah.
With your experience over time, you start to get a feel of how long things last and when you need to maintain it. Because in the beginning, when I started with this in 2017, this was mostly a thumbs up.
Yes, of course.
For example, your parapets and your fascia boards and barge boards, etc. Generally, people know that you need to paint your roofs every 10 years. Done in a tell, maybe your periods are shorter because you're at the coast, like we are here. Painting gives you guarantee or a warranty of 12 years, but we know of 10 years you have to repaint. Then, of course, the cost. We have painted in 2019. So the next paint job is due in 2029. And this is what it cost us in 2019. So I keep that value. But when I then get closer to 2029, there you can see I've marked in here, highlighted the year in which I need to do the different jobs.
Yes.
Because then it gives me a nice visual overview of when I need to do what and when.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's use the retaining walls. Okay, yeah, we said we're going to do some maintenance. 2025, it will last about another 2 years. So what I do is then I color this so that I can see, okay, then I can see what I need to do in 2025.
Yeah.
Pergolas and the woodwork, the wall of the outbuildings, the doors and the gate, the window.
Yeah.
The gate motor, of course, then the retaining walls, fire equipment. But
Yeah, we've got that.
yeah, okay. Your fire equipment needs to be inspected annually. That's an annual inspection that is required by law.
Yeah.
And usually people put that in their admin budget. But the reason why I put it in here is, here in the Cape, sometimes the doors of our fire hoses blows open and the wind blows it off, or these boxes in which the reels are housed needs to be replaced after a period of time. So this is not just the inspections annually, but I also need to make provision when I have to replace those boxes. They're about 1,000 rand each. We've got 8 of them, so I make provision for the full amount if I have to replace all of them. So the retaining walls we've got there, we need 350,000 rand. But in 2035, let's say we're going to replace it in 2035. It's not even on my 10-year maintenance plan yet. It's in the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we just need to make that. What we need to do, you can see in these cells here, I copied one where there's values.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So just then make sure that you copy a row that contains the formulas. For example, I can copy that one here and put it in there, paste, and then copy this for the next 10 years. Paste. Yes. Okay, so now we've got the formulas in there.
Yeah.
And if you look at the formula, it says take
S40.
this, S49, this is S49, take this cell and multiply it by 1,07. That is escalation, is 7%.
7%.
Yeah, so whatever value I'm going to put in here, it's going to escalate it for you.
Correct. Yeah.
I like this.
Okay, we've decided we're going to need to do work in 2025. So I just need to then highlight that. How do I determine what I'm going to need to replace this in 2035. We're in 2023 now, and 2035, that is still 12 years in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do I plan for that?
Make 8% escalation every year.
Yes, but
Does
that
that
is,
make sense?
Yeah. So this.
so this is where you use this calculator tool. You can see it copied
the
over your
columns, yeah.
350,000
Right,
rand.
yes. Yeah.
Now here you can see saved in the reserve fund. All of a sudden there is an amount available.
Yes.
I'll explain this just now. We've determined the term years remaining to do this replacement is 12 years, right?
12, yes. Correct.
So we put in 12 there and enter, and did you see what happened?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Tells you the amount to be collected annually to get your 350,000 rand is 21,800.
Yeah.
So you go back to your first year and you say
21,800.
21,800.
Yeah, or you can.
Or you can put a formula to copy that cell, eh?
Yes.
No. You type in, because you just round it off, say 22,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And
There it goes.
you can see.
With the annual escalation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do the annual escalation for you.
Yes.
And as you add new years, as you carry on, it will just copy over that formula, apply the escalation, and when you get to 2035, yes, it will give those figures for you.
Yes. Oh, I like this.
Yes, so
This is really good.
So when you're finished with your financial year, this is you're working on this budget. This is your current financial year, and you know that I need to put away 22,000 to do the maintenance that I planned there in 2025.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you go through all your items, and this is the figure that you will get
at the end.
Yes.
At the end. That is your reserve fund budget for this financial year, upcoming financial year.
Yeah.
Now, in my spreadsheet, in our scheme, we only have two types of sections, the ground floor and the upper floor. And whatever happens here, as I fiddle with these figures here, it automatically show me what the levies are going to be for the units. So I can see what the impact is going to be.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so just to show you how to add another column. In this case, I've already done one, so I just want to show it.
Yeah.
You can see
There
I've copied. That's just a copy of that one.
Yeah.
Now, this shows you what you can do is if you want to add, you don't have to end the 10 years. You can carry this on for 15 years or 20 years, but just hide them.
Yeah.
Just show the 10 years that you're working with your 10-year plan for what you require.
Yeah.
So in order to add one, because I don't want this when I copy it over to encroach on my calculator, I just add another column.
Yeah.
So just the column before. And then I go up there and do the same thing and just say copy. Paste. And then just change this to 2054.
Yeah.
Just put this in the way. Yeah, can you move it?
You can then add as many as you like, because we know that we're going to do in 2034. You can insert another one, 2034, 2035, and I just go there and just say again, paste. I don't have to copy again because it's already in memory. I just change that to 2035. And you can see all your formulas are there. It's escalated it for you. And then the retaining walls, I know I need to highlight
Just copy those.
Yeah, I just need to copy that over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have to highlight that.
Yeah.
And it is there, right? And so there you have it. 2035, retaining walls, you reserve it for 2035.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there you can see. So when you look here at the bottom, you can forecast
Yes. Yeah.
how your
Okay.
maintenance budget
There.
is going
there.
to, how is it going to go up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, in one of my AGMs, when I presented this, the people ask now, is this thing now set for the next 10 years? So
No.
that is what we're going to pay for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Probably
No,
not.
they're not.
Because costs
They're
would
not.
have gone up.
Escalated.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, besides that, so let's just divide 2023 plus 2. And this is our 10-year plan we're working with. You can see that it escalates.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But every year you're going to review
Yes.
your
The
plan.
current year. Yeah.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
for
yeah.
sure.
And that is why this is a living document. You need to review this on a regular basis.
So it's always the
You know?
cost estimate that has to be reviewed.
Yes, this and
Present
also
value.
when you need maintenance. You
Yes.
know, you can
Okay.
say, okay, I need to do this stuff. We need painting in 2029.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
as you get closer, you
Yeah.
will
You might
see,
well
okay,
have to move that.
either it still looks good and we can maybe stretch that out for another year,
Mhm.
or due to some very bad weather the past couple of years, we need to bring this forward, say to 2027, then
Yeah.
you need to bring it forward, say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we cannot do that in 2029. We need to do it earlier. So
Yeah. You just have-
then this
Yeah.
will become what? And what has happened now? This figure here, this figures here was based on that term to 2027. We count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
7
Yeah.
years, yeah.
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 So the term was 7 years.
Yes.
You can see the value that it gives me is 21,300.
Mhm.
And when I did this estimate, when we painted, I used the old figures. So you can see it is very close.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
then you can just say, okay, I need to maybe just up this a little bit. So make this 22,000 to ensure that we have the funds available.
Yeah.
When
And
it is due, it will
Yeah.
escalate it for you. And of course, when you do this, obviously, it's going to affect the figures at the bottom as well.
The bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is why this can never be stagnant. Every
Yeah.
year,
Yes.
it's going to change. But at least the purpose of this is to forecast and to plan. This is what we're going to need approximately. When we get to this year, we refine it and you can find it can either go up or it can go down,
Yeah.
you know, depending on what you've done the previous years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can see in 2024, I hardly have anything
Mm.
planned,
Yes.
but I need to then collect all this money that we collect in 2024 needs to go for future maintenance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what goes into your reserve fund.
Yes.
Yes, for that year. That is what you need to
Correct,
budget
yes.
for. Now, of course,
Yeah.
every year, once you've finished, I don't delete this row. If I'm now moving over to 24, I just hide this.
Hide it. Yeah.
Yes.
I hide this column, and then this become my active budget year, 2024.
Mhm.
And of course, then I will show the next column there, 2033.
Column on that end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still got 10 years.
Yes, so you just make it for 10 years.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
34.
So my history
Still stays intact.
still intact. Any questions? Somebody asks, when are you going to do this? I can come and have a look here and say, no, but we did this in 2020 already.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
what we paid. Because these figures in here now, in your history, is the actual figures. And these figures
Yes,
would
of course.
be the figures that you budgeted for those years. So these are your actual figures. And you can go back and say, this is what we spent. That was our budget. This is your proof. And it gives you a nice visual overview of what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Out a little bit. You can see it gives you a nice picture.
Yeah.
And I like
Yes,
looking
yes.
at these pictures.
Yes. Yeah.
This is excellent.
This
Yeah,
is
you can-
fantastic.
You can see what you did in the past, and you can see what you plan to do in the future.
Yeah.
On your escalation, are you working per annum at about 8%?
It is 7%.
7%.
Yeah.
Taking in the factor now that costs, because of situation in Russia and the COVID, raw materials that we are not getting, or we're sending it out, raw material costs in the last 6 months have escalated by as much as 25 to 30%.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you,
Frightening.
and so?
And so,
So what about that? Currently CPI is at 5.9%, they say.
Yeah.
But I'm not,
which I never believe.
what's the word, pedantic about inflation, because that's not the only factor.
No.
Because you're constantly reviewing this, and you're constantly reviewing these values. Yeah. Let me give you an example of exactly what you've been saying now. In 2016, we didn't have a fence around our complex. And in 2015, we budgeted for this. In 2016, it cost us 340,000 Rand. But the guys that put up the fence for us, we've got 3 gates that they maintain for us when we call them out. So a couple of months ago, while they were working on one of the gate motors, we started chatting, and she told me how the price of steel has increased just in the past couple of months. It has increased twice in 1 year. And she said, if we had to put up this fence this year, this is what we're going to pay for it.
R1 million.
From 350.
Yes. So exactly from 340,000 Rand to R1 million in just a few years, make your escalation actually, it's really meaningless. So I put in just an average. 7%, I think, is a good average to escalate and make provision. And when you get closer, you're going to review that anyway, and you're going to recalculate what you need to recover that year with your calculator on the side, and you're going to populate it. So that's why I don't have any percentages for escalations and fiddle with that. To me, it's a waste of time. I find it in.
I agree with you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So
Yeah.
that's the column that you've got to concentrate on changing. Column H.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of your estimated when it does get to that year.
Yes. And of course, when do you need to do it? It's going to do. Because as you get closer, you review the stuff and you change the stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
So let's get to accumulated reserve fund, your past contributions.
Yeah.
Do you have a reserve fund in place?
We just started it last year because it was supposed to have been put in place and it wasn't. So we started it last year.
Okay. Now, as you go along, this is the new financial year. We budget for. We know how much money there is in the reserve fund.
That's your current balance in the reserve.
That's a current balance at the end of the financial year. But even, a couple of weeks before the end of the financial year, or during the last month, this figure is not going to change because your interest accrues on the first of the month anyway, so it remains fixed till the end of the month and only increases the following month. So you just type in that value in here, and what it does, it will allocate and break up this total figure into the individual component for your item.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are two reasons why you need to do this. The one is when you budget, like we've now done here for the retaining walls,
Yeah.
it has already allocated an amount for you there.
Yes.
Because all this is a percentage of your original value. For
Yes.
example, if we have to replace and repair or maintain everything in our complex in 1 year, this is the value, 4.4 million.
Yeah.
So this amount there is a percentage of this. And these values in yellow is a percentage of that value.
Yes.
So all I've done is I've put in a calculator. You can see this is just copied that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here are the percentages. Calculates that value there is 36% of the total year.
Total, yeah.
So when I type in my current reserve fund value in here, it just apply those percentages to this and it populate it here.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
So it's not necessary for you to take out your calculator to do that.
Much easier this way, eh?
Question to you. How many body corporates do you know that actually do keep their reserve funds moving and adjusted accordingly as you put and planned out there? My experience with these people is that most of them haven't got any reserve funds whatsoever. They have to go out and get special levies going up.
Yes.
Then the arguments start going. And this is big. I mean, I'm not talking one or two. I'm talking even some of the more affluent complexes that are in place. They just do not know or understand to keep that reserve fund and to have it there and to have it on a monthly basis.
Yes.
Moving and increasing itself. They basically end up with nothing.
This is the whole thing why your 10-year maintenance plan and reserve fund was made compulsory, is for the people to stop raising special levy. What the legislator is saying, people, you better need to start planning ahead so that you don't get surprises when something suddenly breaks and you don't have the funds to repair that. Now it is enforced. So
I hear you, but they are not doing it. The reason being is they're saying we have not got the funds available from our tenants, our owners, or anything to do it. And these are, they know the law, but they're not doing it.
But also, isn't the problem the fact that nobody's policing it?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. It doesn't. You're quite correct, Ali.
Yeah.
Nobody is worrying about it. There's only a few of them that are doing it. We are trying here to build this up. But bear in mind, we're only in our third year here. At the beginning, most people who came in here hadn't the faintest clue what the reserve fund even was about.
Yes, exactly.
That's who we stand.
Yeah.
And I work with places who've been body corporates for 40 or 50 years, and they still don't know what a reserve fund's about.
I would blame the managing agent for that because they're supposed to.
They're one of the biggest culprits of the lot.
Yeah, the biggest culprit. Yeah.
They should have notified the body corporates that this is law, it's compulsory, you have to do it. There's no way that you can get away with it. So whether you like it or not, it must be implemented. And if you're a managing agent, then if you have this tool, then you can start doing this. And on the other hand, the trustees are the ones that's supposed to police it. They're the accountable people. There's no excuse for not doing it.
Yeah. And we will definitely get it there, but we're not there yet, but we'll get it there. Yeah.
What they will then start with is zero.
Yes.
There. So when they start and they have no money, this is what it will look like. So then you can see what the effect is going to be. Now, all of a sudden, because it's going to cost 200,000 Rand to paint, we need to paint it by 2027. How much money do we not start to collect the next 4 years in order to do the painting? Because you have nothing in the reserve.
But no reserve.
Nothing,
So what is the surprise? There.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now you need this year.
Just for the painting. Yeah.
Yes, because you must paint by 2027. So now you can see the impact it has.
Yeah.
If you don't have a reserve fund. Now, all of a sudden, you have to now, you've got so many years left to do something. You've got nothing in reserve. So these are going to become huge amounts and you're going to get the surprise here. So you can see what the effect is and you can use this to demonstrate to the body corporate the impact.
Absolutely.
If you don't make provision. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing why you need this breakdown. Say, for example, let's use our barge boards. That's something that seldom needs to be replaced. So you can see I really haven't budgeted for it because when the wind blows it off, here in Somerset West, the southeaster blows and some of them are blown off. We've replaced it with this plastic type. Then we replace it. You can see what this auto allocation does. It tells me you have 7,600 Rand in your reserve fund that you can use for the repairs on your barge boards. I've heard that some schemes do that. They say, we've got 1.1 million. We take out whatever we need. Doesn't matter whether there's provision for that. We're going to spend half of that to do something else. You can't do that. That's why this allocation has been prescribed.
Yeah, you see that's prescribed.
And so this is ring fence. When you need to do something, you have 130,000 Rand available for your roofs.
Yeah.
So if this 7,500 is not enough, it's going to cost you 10,000. That is still, that is still within the reasonable limits. Then you can do that. But then, of course, when you take it out here, will need to replenish it again. So
for sure.
Yeah, because it's an ongoing thing.
Okay.
Sure.
So I have to work ahead, eh?
So this is basically how it works. I just want to also show you, you're a new scheme. Everything is new. You have an idea what things will cost. But suppose you're an existing scheme and now all of a sudden this was imposed on you, especially those that haven't done it before. You've seen that neither the trustees nor managing agents are experts in evaluating this.
Yes, correct. Yes.
They don't know how often do you need to paint. They don't know when your paving needs to be redone. Your tar surfaces, what's the lifespan of that? We've just done ours this year, 200,000 Rand. Now I know this, I don't have to worry for the next 20 years. So
20
you need
years,
to do it again, 2042. I will probably not be around, but the right markings.
That's what we're all hoping for.
Somebody else's problem by that.
But because we did the road surface, we had to do the parking bays and no parking lines and all that stuff. Also did it. That was relatively cheap, just under 5,000 Rand. And that is something that you need to repaint about every 4 years. So you can see here I didn't make provision for every year to collect that money because it's a small amount. I can just say, okay, when I need to do that again in 2027, I just collect the full amount, 5,000 Rand.
Yeah.
Okay, so by then you can calculate if you want to know how I need to do that again in 2031, 5,000 Rand tells you about 1,000 Rand per year. 27, it's going to say, because we've just did it in 2022, and 2027, we say, okay, 5,200. And by then, maybe it's going to cost, say, 6,000. And so this you show in your 10-year maintenance plan. It shows you how you make provision for that when you need to do that. Okay, so I was talking about the trustees or the managing agent don't know how to go about doing this. When we started in 2017, I have a good working knowledge, but I'm not an expert on evaluating this stuff. So what I did was I got a company that did this survey for us, and And I'm going to show you an example of what a report looks like, 10-year maintenance report. This is a company up in Johannesburg, and they've did this one for a scheme up in Johannesburg. And I like the way they did it in a very professional manner.
Yeah.
A very comprehensive report.
Yeah.
You know, they explained the methodology, how they went about doing this. They referred to the legislation of why it needs to be done. It even have your minimum reserve fund calculation as per section 31B that prescribe that if you are starting now, this is the formula that you use to budget for your reserve fund.
Yeah.
Okay, so did a very good job. And actually the formula, very meticulous.
I've seen it.
Well done report.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, they come with there's just a locality plan, aerial photograph. The scheme is a big scheme, 236 units. They've included your sectional plans.
Which we don't have.
Nope.
Yeah. And of course, there you can see your PQs, and then they start with the inspection report, where they started at the one end.
Got to that.
They took pictures of everything, in a logical manner. They started at the gates where you would go in, the gates, and they would comment on that, on the condition. And here they give you the clues. Steel gates to be treated for rust and painting every 4 years. So immediately it gives you the figure of how long the life cycle is of this. Then it tells you the level of urgency is low, maintenance is due. And so they went through. Condition, very urgent. So
very comprehensive.
And then at the end,
give you the value.
They've compiled the 10-year maintenance plan for this scheme. And this is what these look like. You can see it is very similar to your elements there. They've got the current cost and then your 10 years. There's your years for that item. But they've added an inflation value. Building cost, the rate escalation. You see, they've added at 4%. That's 4%. No, see, there's a 5%. Yeah, that was in 2018. So you see, I think 7% is a good average for the medium to long term. But for me, this is not critical. I don't focus on that and worry about that because I look at the big picture. This is what is important. I don't waste time to worry about that. But this is a very well prepared report.
Yes, it is.
And so if you appoint specialists to do that, this gives you a good indication of what it should look like.
Yes, it's a good jumping off point, isn't it?
So I did this for our scheme, and because their spreadsheet, you can't edit. It's their intellectual property, and they won't give it to you.
Okay.
This scheme, for example, I would advise the trustees is that these guys manage your maintenance plan. And they will tell you, you need to do this now. And tell the trustees, you need to get quotes for this. Or we can do it for you because we know what needs to be done. We know what the specifications are. We can do it for you, and you pay us an annual or a monthly fee to manage this for you. So some schemes I would advise to go that route. Let these guys manage it, you pay them, but then at least you can rest assured that your complex will be maintained in a good state of repair. Leave it to the specialist because we are a small scheme. Once I've got this, I say, okay, thank you very much. I will manage this now going forward. And that is why then I've used my spreadsheet. Just carry on and then manage it myself.
Yeah.
The managing agents do this. You know, you can prepare this for them, but the trustees needs to keep their eyes on
Yeah.
their scheme, go out. What does the windows look like? Are the putties still good? Do it need to be replaced, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Feedback, update this. Now, I want to show you something else.
Yeah, that's what I
Do
was.
you use a financial system that also do the
Yes,
budget
they
for you?
do. They do. Yeah, they do, but it's ridiculous. It's not broke. We actually took it and broke it down like this. We did it ourselves.
Yeah.
From a zero base.
Yeah.
Okay,
This
good.
for the 2022-23.
Yeah.
So Eileen and I sat and we've broken it down like this.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yes.
how you've done it.
Okay.
We just now need to add in, we've put the reserve fund in, but we need to actually do it in a little bit more detail like you've now explained.
Yes. Yeah. This is the perfect vehicle for us to do it.
Okay, so you see, I have the maintenance plan right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Once I'm happy with this, then I can see what the levies are going to be. Then I move into my budget planner for my admin budget.
Yeah.
Mine is slightly different from what managing agents normally do. They work from financial year, but I've explained that in that presentation that I've attached to.
Yes, I
my
saw that.
email.
Yes.
So that explains how this works, because you will see that normally your AGM is 3 months to 4 months after the end of the financial year. And then you sit with a period that you really didn't budget it for, but you still incur expenses. And so what we've done here is that we budget from the month the new levies take effect, which is on the 1st of October. Our financial year is from the 1st of July. But your owners, when you tell them we've prepared the budget for the next financial year, the levies need to escalate by 12 or 13%, but you haven't presented the budget yet. It's a hefty increase. You know, the people get upset. So what the legislator did was say, okay, maximum increase of 10% until the AGM, and then you revise. And then, of course, at the end of the AGM, because now you finalize and approve the budget, now you finalize the levy. Now you see, okay, but it's not 12%, it's actually 13%. Now you need to adjust that levy again. And you know, I really don't blame people when they get upset, because you just increased it 3 months ago with 10%, and now you need to adjust, do another adjustment, you know, and then they start finger pointing. The trustees don't know what they're doing, they're incompetent, blah, you know how it goes. So we avoid that. The people know on the 1st of October, there's going to be new levies, and it can either go up or go down. So we make provision for that 3 months in the next financial year.
Okay.
So that when we're in the financial year, in this period, the auditors are busy with audits. And once you get that, then you arrange your AGM, and you have your AGM in this month. But PMR 25.3 allows you to increase by 10%, or alternatively, PMR 25.3 that says during that period between the end of the last financial year and the AGM, the budget must be what it was for the previous year.
That's exactly what
we've done.
So the members know for the next 12 months, this is what our levy is going to be. And there's no fooling around with PMR 23 and upset the people. For the owners, as far as they are concerned, their financial year runs from the 1st of October till the end of September. So this is what I use to do the planning of my budget. And you can also see the total reserve fund provision. This, it just fetches from my 10-year maintenance plan, that figure there. That's why I do that before I do that. So that is finalized. Right. So I also present this to the members as is and explain to them, this is the budget and that is the provision for the 3 months of the next year. Okay. And they approve this. And then automatically the first 3 months of my next financial year is approved. So I don't then worry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I still have to do my financial year budget. And now you can see it's from the 1st of July till the end of June.
Yeah.
Okay. So all I need to do is to fetch these figures from my approved previous year.
Previous year, yeah.
Yes.
And populate it with this because this was approved the year before. So I just
It's good idea.
populate it in here, and these figures you can see it fetch it from the budget.
Yeah, fetch from your planner.
Yes, then I don't fiddle here. The only thing I need to do on this spreadsheet is to add the previous year stuff there. One can do it automatically by referencing that spreadsheet.
Yes,
I'm
correct. Yeah.
able to do that, but I've just kept it simple when I gave this as a template. Otherwise, you're getting a surprise when it references a file that you don't have, but it can be done.
Yeah.
This is the other way to do it.
Yeah.
Just copy it over. Okay. So it is there, and then you can see here the reserve, and that was for the previous year. This is now for this financial year. And the effect that it has is that this amount now is going to differ from the amount that you've budgeted there.
Yes.
Because this is for 12 months. So I had to adjust this, my reserve fund provision. Yeah, these figures calculates automatically. These you can see are your main items. You don't go into the detail like you have on your maintenance plan. It just takes those figures there in the gray of your major items. And then it puts it in there. But now, because you cannot just take that amount that is there, that you have here for 2024, because then it will not be the same as the amount here. And the people will query that. Okay, but why is this more than what you have here? But here you can see 129,873.
Yeah.
Now it balances.
Yeah.
So you have to balance it. So what I had to do here, you see there's a little note there. Remember to change the cell columns reference each term to the next year's.
Yes.
Because the formula in here,
Is referring back to your maintenance plan. Yes.
there you can see what it does.
Yeah,
It says go and fetch the value in column R, which was the previous year's budget. Just divide that by 12 to get your monthly value, 3 to get your 3 months value, and then add the 9 months value of your current year. So it's the 3 months of the previous year or a quarter of first year, and then add it together, and
it'll give you that.
and it will give you this amount. And your check there is at the bottom here. You see that calculation is correct. You say, does it balance with this figure here?
R1.
It's rounding in Excel.
In Excel.
Okay. And it's important that you divide your reserve fund budget into these two separate.
Yeah. Provision and your expenses.
Yes. Because this is what you need to make provision for. That includes what you're going to do this year, plus the provision you need to make for future maintenance. And then what trustees do, or this one case where we have our site manager, you looked at the budget, good, I've got 63,000 Rand available
let me use it for something.
Maintenance of the building. Whereas I haven't planned to do any maintenance for the main buildings this year, and he just carries on and uses this money because he believes it is available. So it's important to separate the two. This is the provision. We're not touching it. It's for future maintenance. And out of the reserve fund, this is what we're going to spend. We're going to do the roadways, parking, safety and security, and the gardens. And this figures here, I just type in by hand because I don't know how to tell this thing to go to that column, see which cells are blue, and and take that figure and
Yeah.
Oh, got you. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
yeah,
at that right. So this I populate by hand.
I don't know. I think you're doing pretty well, eh?
Yeah. So it's important that the people
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
separate it
understand.
like
Yeah.
this. And,
Yes.
and here it doesn't matter. I don't split it according to that formula. I'm going to do it this year, and that
Yes.
figure is the same as what I have on my maintenance.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay.
So that is important. So then what what is presented at the AGM is right. This is the budget. You've
Yes.
got your admin budget,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got your reserve fund budget broken into the two parts. And then at the bottom, it calculates your levies for you, admin budget, your CSOS, the reserve fund
Mm-hmm.
that it fetch from there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got other stuff, that storerooms that we rent out, garages that uses electricity, and the rental of the parking bay. So this is the budget that is approved. And this is also what the managing agent used to run the income and expenditure of the
Yeah, for the, yeah.
And then, of course, the last thing is your levy schedule, your
Yeah,
flat,
just don't
your
put you.
PQ, your owner
It's exactly.
name, admin levy that it fetches from this budget,
Mm-hmm.
that those figures at the bottom there
Yep.
for the two different types of properties. And it populates that, populates your reserve fund levy for the two types you can see. Then, of course, there's your CSOS levy. So all this is fetched from the maintenance plan and your budget. And these,
Yep.
because it can vary from year to year, this I enter by hand. You know, I know
Yeah. Okay.
who's got storerooms, and when they move out, they give up the rental. So somebody else is going to rent that, then I need to change that to that section or whatever. Garages that's got electric door openers, we charge them a small fee because it's common property electricity. And then, of course, the parking bay that we rent out, this can change. So I populate this and allocate it to the section. And this also goes to the managing agent. So then you can see this is then the levies that they need to charge the individual owners. Yeah. So that's the whole thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
Sure, some food for thought. But
So-
that is fantastic.
Any questions?
I don't think at this stage we've just got to go through all of this and start to put it all together and look at it from that way. There's an awful lot to take in. But the spreadsheet and how it's in there for planning for future is
it's excellent. And we're quite comfortable with these spreadsheets and with using them. So this is a wonderful tool for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank
much,
you.
students.
Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate your help.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.